Got it. Gosh, okay, good. Collectively. Carol, do we do them individually or do you do them? No, it's his man right here. That's what I do.
Let's just do it.
Sit there and hold their hand. You,
So you,
oh, it ain't mine, it's yours. I mean, you do it however you want to do it. I have administered 1,000 oaths. I have done 1,000 oaths. I've never done, assuming all you do. I will. You got to bring duties required of me, and in the I will uphold and enforce the criminal and the city and law. Furthermore, do the pledge. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Say, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I can repeat to others just like that. Do those just like that. But I just, no. I just, you know.
good evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order this afternoon. Thank you so much. We had a makeup meeting from Monday due to the weather. I'd like to lead us in our invocation, and from the invocation, we'll go into the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Mr. McCullum, call roll, please.
Councilman Roberts. President Logan.
Here.
Councilman Hinton.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilman Hogg.
Here. So in her absence, she has asked me to perform a couple oaths of office. So this is my first go around, but nonetheless, the mayor has tasked me. So I asked Chief Burton to come up. We've got two officers that are going to be sworn in tonight. So I will start with Sean Mello. I state your name, Sean Mello, a law enforcement officer in the state of Alabama, Item 5 is approval of our agenda. Is there a motion to approve our agenda as printed?
So moved.
That's a motion by Councilman Hinton. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 6, visitors to address our city council. We have one visitor who has officially signed up to speak. His name is Mr. Ronnie Lett. He's a District 2 candidate for the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education. Mr. Lett?
Thank you. This will be short and sweet, I can promise you, okay, unless you have a lot of questions, which I will entertain a little bit later. Mr. McCullum, good to see you here today. I don't think I've addressed this group since you've been on board, and welcome to Northport. Sorry that Ms. Aaron is not able to be with us, but other council members and our citizens that are with us today, and I have several friends here, and I certainly appreciate them coming. I am a candidate for the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education, District 2. Some have asked me, well, why'd you wait so long to run? Well, be honest with you, the last 5 years that I have substitute taught has opened my eyes. Things have changed in the last 25 years since I retired as principal of County High. And the last 5 years, believe me, we need some experience on our Board of Education with someone that has been in the classroom, understands basically what's going on in all the schools, and I go in just about every high school and some middle schools in Tuscaloosa County. But enough about that right now. I want to thank Bobby and Michelle Jones. They are my chairpersons on this campaign. I appreciate them being with us today, as well as Ron Bolton, who basically is heading up our campaign. I've got good folks that are working for me, and up to this point, it's been a real pleasure. I've also asked my wife, Dee Jan, to be here today. 54 and a half years she's put up with me, and that is an accomplishment in itself. And I certainly appreciate her support in everything that we've done over the years. I have 2 children. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. Ron and Julia are our 2 children. They're both Tuscaloosa County High School graduates. We have 6 granddaughters that are presently all enrolled in the Tuscaloosa County school system. We obviously are supporters of the public school system, with 6 granddaughters that are in each of the schools around here. A little bit about my experience, and I say this because I was sort of in a unique situation. Dr. Hinton, years ago when I was 16 years old, he was driving our bus route down in the Big Sandy community.
And he was 17, wasn't he?
And he was just, he was a little
Oh, I'm sorry.
17,
I was trying to,
I'll let
okay.
him tell you his age. But anyway, and he said, Ronnie, I'm going to have to give up the bus route down here. Are you interested? Well, I had turned 16 in December. And by March, I was driving that bus on a regular basis. Now, obviously, you can't do that now, but it went over fairly well in the community where we lived. Everybody knew me, and there wasn't a big uproar. And I did that for 2 years there in high school. Then I drove it my first 3 years of college. I couldn't drive it my 4th year because I was student teaching with Dr. Hinton. Obviously, he's been a mentor of mine in a lot of things, but couldn't do it that year. And then I started teaching in the fall of 1965. One thing that I'm very proud of, I was the first choral music director hired by the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education. We'd always had band directors that would do a choir, but no choir director had ever been hired just to do choir. And I was the first in 1965. I did that for 21 years, best 21 years of my life, I'll tell anyone, because I was in a classroom with youngsters that chose to take my program. I had to go out and recruit and get the kids there. Nobody was assigned to choral music in school unless they had come, and I had auditioned them and put them in there. So they were in there by choice. And I know that's the reason why I always felt like I taught the very best kids there. But anyway, in 1984, our superintendent one day said, Roddy, why don't you go and get certified in administration? And when your superintendent invites you to do that, that's a pretty good indication that he's got plans for you. So it took a couple of years to get the certification, and I did get it and was placed at Brookwood High School for 1 year as an assistant principal. Was brought back the very next year to County High as an assistant principal, and I was there for the next 8 years in administration. So I have 9 years of administrative experience. After I retired, with 30 years and 5 months in the retirement system, I went to work at Baggett's Truck Stop. So I have about 9 years experience of managing a travel center. It used to be Baggett's, those of you that are old enough to remember that. And then it was sold to Speedway. I stayed with Speedway. Then it was sold to Pilot, which is still Pilot. And after a few years of that, they transferred me to Birmingham to a travel center up there. And I made that trip for a little while, and I decided that I needed to do something else. So I started substitute teaching, I mind telling you. And I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Now I go in any of the schools, it doesn't matter. And all of them have their pluses and minuses like any other business. But our schools are in dire need of some support by someone that understands exactly what is going on in the schools. This is a whole generation now since I retired, and believe me, in 25 years, things have changed, okay? So I would appreciate that opportunity, and I hope the citizens will give it to me. I try to be a role model. When I go into classrooms right now, especially if it's a new classroom, first thing we talk about is I try to get them to try to achieve to their best ability, and then we'll get into some subject matter and so forth. But I'm trying to instill some confidence in these kids because a lot of them come from homes that are less than desirable, and they need a role model standing up in front of them, and I have enjoyed that. And I don't mind telling you, once I'm elected to this position, I'm still going to substitute teach and just be without pay. But I'm going into classrooms because these kids need a role model. They need somebody that can stand up and say, look, I've been where you are, now look what you can become. Because here I started out as a little lowly bus driver, finally worked up as the principal of, at that time, the 6th largest high school in the state of Alabama. And so you can, with commitment, achieve things in your life. Kids need to understand that. They need to strive. And I hope that I get that opportunity. Once I'm elected, I'm going to work tirelessly with Northport and Northside schools. I'll try to work in harmony with the other 6 board members because that's extremely important. And in addition to that, where Northport City Council and the Tuscaloosa County Board of Education need to work together on some projects, I can promise you that I will listen and we'll try to get some things ironed out, okay? I can assure you my word is my bond, okay? I'm not going to tell you one thing and walk out of here and tell somebody else something else. What I've told you, you can take it to the bank. So with that, I'm going to be a team player. It's extremely important. But I'm also going to try to use the experience that I've had as an administrator. I've had to make those tough decisions going before the board for expulsions on students and just a lot of things that that a principal has to be involved with. It's not a pleasant job every day. Okay, it is not. But it's something that we need to be supportive of our administrators and our teachers, and I plan to do that. I've laid in front of you some of the goals, and I can't put all the goals on there that I want to achieve, but some of the goals that I plan to work for, to try to work with the bodies and just for the betterment of our children. And that's primarily who I'm working for, is youngsters in this schools, as well as our administrators and our teachers that go into those classrooms, because let's face it, if it's not happening in a classroom, it's not happening. So I would entertain any questions that any of you might have. Appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you today.
Thank you, Mr. Letton. Again, I probably could speak for everybody. I encourage everybody to drop your name in the hat if you really want to just get into public serving. This is the way to do it. And I see your plans and goals. Tell me kind of, if you had a wish list for Northport, what would it be? And again, I can't speak for other communities. I'm just kind of, I got my Northport hat on. So, what's your wish list?
Well, those goals right there is gonna be some of it. I wanna work a little bit more closely, with teachers, administrators, because our morale, as I'm seeing it right now, that's one of the biggest problems we've got in our school with our teachers and administrators is morale issues. And so one of the things I would try to do would be, without stepping over the principal's bounds, work through the administration and give the teachers some encouragement and let them know that they've got a listening ear across the river on the board. And that'd be one of the things that I would strive for. And also another thing, we need to get more vocational subjects in school. When I was principal, we probably had, without overstating it, 8 or 9 vocational subjects. And it was at the height of the vocational courses. And then I won't call any names, but most of the vocational subjects were stopped. Now, there has been a little recent upsurge again with the 4 buildings that were, 4 classes rather, that were put in the new building at County High last year, and that's a start. But that's all it is a start. There needs to be more. You got businesses and companies around Tuscaloosa that are begging for students to be trained at the high school level in addition to what they could eventually get at the junior college or college level. So that would be something that I would strive for, that we could get more vocational subjects, because let's face it, every youngster's not going to the University of Alabama. So we need to help those youngsters and not just let them go through 4 years of school taking subjects that are not going to ever benefit them once they graduate.
Well, thank you. Members of council, I don't know if you guys had any questions of Mr. Lett. Again, and I'm looking on the flyer, March 3rd, 2020 is when the primary is. Okay. Yes, sir. Any questions, gentlemen? Good luck, Mr. Lett.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
You bet.
Folks, you're welcome to stay and see how government works. 4 o'clock on a Wednesday. You're welcome to stay. 8A1 is a ordinance for first reading of a resolution accepting the maintenance and for water and sanitary sewer infrastructure at the shops at Bristol Park. Again, this is a first reading. Any member of council want to offer that for a first reading?
I'll offer that up for first reading.
That's offered up by Councilman Davis. 8A2 is a first reading annexing of Union Chapel Road East and Martin Road East and Watermelon Road. This is out of Ms. Ram's office. Any member of council want to offer that up for a first reading?
I will offer that.
That's offered up by Councilman Hinton.
Would like to say, too, that this is in District 3, and we've been interested and concerned about this happening for some time now, so this is great to see that we have this opportunity.
Yes, sir. 8A3 is a first reading text amendment to the zoning ordinance pertaining to parking regulations. Ms. Ram.
Yes, sir. This is a request for a text amendment to the zoning ordinance, which will make changes to the parking regulations for hotels and motels. Currently, our ordinance calls for 1.25 spaces per room, per sleeping room, and any accessory use is calculated at a rate of 65% of the normal requirements. The proposed amendment would bring those requirements to 1 space per sleeping room, plus two spaces for the office staff, and then any accessory use would be calculated at 1 space for every 120 square feet of customer service area, and that would be like for restaurants, bars, meeting rooms, those such things. This does come with a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission. In the interest of time, staff is requesting that the council consider suspending the rules in order to immediately consider this amendment.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ram. Again, is there a motion to suspend the rules to immediately consider action on the agenda item?
I'll move to suspend the rules.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, rules are suspended. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance amending the zoning ordinance pertaining to parking regulations?
Move to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
And Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 4 is a first reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 42 of the Northport Municipal Code pertaining to unattended donation and/or collection boxes in the city of Northport. Mr. Davis. All right. Is there a member of council wanted to offer that for a first reading?
Move to approve. Or,
Flip a coin. That's
I'll offer that for a first reading, sorry.
offered up by Councilman Hogg. 8B1 is a resolution declaring certain equipment and items surplus and authorizing the proper disposal. I think you had the list of the particular items in your pre-meeting packet or your council packet. Is there a member of council want to move to approve that resolution?
I'll make that motion.
That's a motion by Councilman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Second item is a resolution authorizing agreement between the City of Northport Fire and Rescue and Stryker for extended service of our particular life packs. Chief Marshal.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of council. This is for agenda item 8C25 of Life Pack, and it would be the service and maintenance agreement for this equipment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve that resolution? Again, this is for the Northport Fire and